Lights down, pulse up. Tonight we slip past the velvet rope into 8 auditions that didn't just book roles. They rewired the room. From Zane's weaponized beauty to Justice's rooftop loud pride, from Noah's too honest microphone to Theo's tenderness with teeth, these are the screen tests that shattered the play smaller note and set a new temperature for desire on camera. Brigette turned labels into riddles. Jonathan proved a leading man doesn't have to whisper. Luke traded the Superman can't be gay myth for a life worth living. And Elliot? He auditioned to be himself and won. If any moment makes your heart misbehave, smash subscribe, ring the bell, and drop the name that owns you in the comments. Ready? Curtain up. 1. Zane Phillips, the beautiful danger in the room. The casting notice said, Wickham, but make him modern, and he arrived like a dare in Cologne, shoulders engineered for slow-motion sin, a smile that behaved like a cliff edge. Here's the secret most rooms won't say out loud. They clocked him before he spoke, filed as the body, the handsome problem, who should be grateful to be looked at and quiet about being looked through. That's how straight passing gets weaponized. Disappear to survive, or show up whole and watch the temperature drop. Zane refused the vanishing act. In Fire Island, he made Dex a mirror you can cut yourself on, glossy, tempting, a little untrustworthy, and then asked the impolite question, why is queer desire policed for daring to be complicated? He didn't sand his edges, he angled them toward the lens. On press day, he broke another quiet rule by naming the game. Actors are taught that passing keeps the jobs coming. He laughed, stepped out of the maze, and claimed his queerness with a grin sharp enough to slice a stereotype. And that infamous Instagram thread, the thoughty photos turned plot twist, wasn't comic fluff. It was commentary on how queer bodies become Exhibit A in our own trials. He leaned into it like a beautiful villain with a romantic's heartbeat and, scene by scene, stole the movie from the good boys with good intentions. Rooms felt different after that. Not safer, real queer stories are rarely safe, but freer, like someone opened a window and the old scripts fluttered. Debate this in the comments. Is it the actor's job to soothe an industry's anxiety, or to expose it? Zane chose exposure. He didn't audition to be liked, he auditioned to be seen, and he was. If this one made your pulse misbehave, smash subscribe, ring the bell, and drop Zane below. 2. Justice Smith, a love letter shouted over the crowd. Some auditions happen under fluorescent lights. Justice held his under a sky full of helicopters. In 2020, amid chants and cardboard signs, he came out as queer and insisted that Black, queer, and trans lives not be footnotes. He led us into a romance, then-boyfriend Nicholas Ashe, turning a career announcement into a public love letter. That post was a screen test for a different kind of leading man. Not the one who shrinks to fit, but the one who widens the frame. From that moment on, every room became a referendum on what bankable means when pride refuses the mute button. Casting notes still begged for smaller. He learned to deliver bigger joy, bigger fury, bigger tenderness, like a man who has stopped asking permission from the lens. You could already see the range, the get down to global franchises, but after the post, there was voltage, a visible refusal to be edited down to neutral. Audition tapes felt less like interviews and more like declarations. I am here, I am Black, I am queer, and I am not apologizing for the chemistry I bring. On screen, the difference reads in the hands, how they hold a face, how they take up space unflinchingly after years of ducking. Cue the debate. Too political versus too honest to ignore. Fans argue in loops, studios count the numbers. Justice keeps making the work glow. If that charge hits you through the screen, it's doing its job. Tap subscribe, hit the bell, and comment justice if you felt that revolution in your chest. Threesome Noah Galvin, the boy who spoke too loudly and wouldn't take it back. Some auditions are a room, some are a microphone with the safety off. In 2016, Noah said the quiet parts about closets and safe gay roles out loud. Backlash arrived on schedule. Apologies too. But the blast didn't end him. It rewired him. The next time a casting team asked for less, he finally understood the translation. Be smaller so we're comfortable? He declined. What followed wasn't a gossip arc. It was a life design. Noah kept the volume and sharpened the craft, the way a singer learns to hit the high note without losing breath. Then came the love story the cynics didn't plan for. He and Ben Platt, two men who wore the same Broadway crown at different times, fell in love and married in 2024. The wedding photos were less spectacle than thesis statement. Queer men don't have to barter joy for employability. Audition rooms feel different when you walk in wearing that kind of steadiness under the sparkle. He's still mouthy, still funny, still allergic to shrinking, but there's a settled heat now, like a stove at the perfect simmer. It reads on camera as permission, for him and for you. Open question for the comments. Is bluntness a liability or a legacy? He proved it can be both and still lead to the role and the husband. If Noah's arc made you grin, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment Noah so we know you're here for loud honesty. 4. Theo Germaine, Tenderness with Teeth. The room was ready for Trans 101. Theo gave them a person. On The Politician, their character didn't pivot on pain. It pivoted on want, ambition, awkwardness, the delicious ache of a crush. That felt radical precisely because it was ordinary. When interviews came, Theo didn't beg for exceptionalism. They asked for equity. The same shot every white cis male gets without having to deliver a TED Talk first. In Auditions, that translates to a threat wrapped in silk. There is no plea here, only promise. Watch how they hold stillness like a weapon, how a half smile undercuts a line and leaves a paper cut you only feel later. The scandal, if you insist on one, is how simple the revolution looks when you stop treating trans bodies as public hearings. A tiny tilt away from spectacle and toward specificity changes everything downstream. Writers write braver, directors direct quieter, audiences stop rubbernecking and start relating. That's the oxygen Theo brings into every room. Less debate, more detail. Now, argue with us. Should authentic casting be the rule or the minimum? Sound off? Keep it smart. Keep it spicy. If Theo's soft power sliced you open a little, subscribe, hit the bell, and type Theo to keep this door open for the next kid. 5. Brigette Lundy-Paine. The non-binary glitch Hollywood couldn't debug. The side said, "Girl next door." Brigette read them like a dare and walked in as a riddle. A little boy, a little girl, a little neither, all charisma. Atypical felt like fresh oxygen, a presence that cracked a window in a stale room. And then came the post. They, them, not a brand refresh, but survival. The replies swung from hallelujahs to heckling, because visibility is sexy until it refuses to sit still for the selfie. Brigette didn't ask to be understood. They asked to be hired and heard. Here's the quiet revolution. The body stops being a plot twist and becomes the premise. Since coming out, their choices hum with freedom and something hotter. The confidence of a person done apologizing for their silhouette. If the note is softer, they play it stranger. If the question is, "What are you?" They answer with a scene that makes labels look primitive. This is how non-binary visibility moves, from announcement to habit to hunger. You start by correcting pronouns. You end by craving performances that feel this alive. Your turn? Is Hollywood's pronouns fatigue real or just code for discomfort? Drop your take and keep it fierce. If Brigette's glitch thrilled you, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment Brigette so the algorithm hears you. 6. Jonathan Bailey? The leading man who refused to whisper pilot season is a furnace that eats secrets. Early on, Jonathan heard the contraband warning. There are 2 things they don't want to know: if you drink or if you're gay. Translation: do your job and dim your joy. Years later, he said it out loud and broke the spell. Then, Bridgerton crowned him fantasy with Regency shoulders and a gaze that melts camera glass, and he stayed publicly, comfortably out. No panic rebrand, no politely vague replies, just a man who wouldn't treat his happiness like contraband. He keeps his love life private. A lovely man, full stop, but his authenticity sits at skin level in every take. And with that, he detonated an old casting superstition that audiences can't swoon for a gay man playing straight romance. The swooning happened anyway. The industry had to scramble. Suddenly, the question wasn't, can he play it? It was, why did we ever pretend he couldn't? He turned ballroom auditions into philosophy. Stop acting like secrecy is part of the costume. Debate time. Does the reveal matter if the chemistry is undeniable? Bring the hot takes. If Jonathan's refusal to whisper gave you hope, smash subscribe, hit the bell, and comment Bailey so the next leading man hears you. 7. Luke Macfarlane. Superman can't be gay and other lies the room told. He came out in 2008 and heard certain doors click shut so softly you could miss it. If you weren't the one holding the handle. An agent once told him, Superman can't be gay. A sentence designed to tattoo itself on your confidence. Luke kept auditioning anyway, found a home on Hallmark, built a loyal audience, then reintroduced himself to the big screen with Bras, a meet-cute that doubled as a manifesto. In later interviews, he traced the decision to come out back to working on a very macho show and realizing the lie, hide and you'll be safe, cost more than any paycheck. Here's the chapter Hollywood never writes. Parallel to the grind, he built a life. With partner Hig Roberts, he welcomed a daughter. You can feel that ballast now when he enters a room, the calm of a man who knows what matters when the slate claps out. Gay dad, romantic lead, woodshop nerd with a hero's jawline. None of it cancels the other. When the note comes, less gay, more broad, he delivers the one thing you can't argue with. Truth wrapped in charm. If the myth said he couldn't wear a cape, fine. He wears a stroller strap, a scene partner, and an easy grin that challenges you. Watch me fly anyway. Question for you. Is the Heartland ready for openly gay leading men? Or has the Heartland been ready while Hollywood stalled? If Luke's flight path inspires you, subscribe, ring that bell, and comment Luke to push this story further. 8. Elliot Page, the audition to be himself. Before the rooms and red carpets caught up, there was a premiere, a dress, and a chokehold. Elliot has spoken about being forced into a dress for Juno's biggest night. Proof that the business can police a body while congratulating itself for the art. Years later, he wrote it all down and named the sickness. He'd been pressured not just to stay closeted, but to perform a person he wasn't. That revelation wasn't gossip, it was diagnosis. The cure arrived slow and public. A suit, a steadier voice, a body that finally felt like home. Since then, the work hums at a different temperature. Not tidy inspiration, but beautiful human mess. Anger, humor, and heat sharing the same frame. He talks about representation like someone who survived the costume and refuses to be dressed by committee again. Casting changes when appetite changes, and appetite changes when someone feeds you the truth. The rooms that once asked him to soften now have to consider that audiences are hungry for a trans man who shows up sexy, stubborn, and self-possessed. The industry tried to dress him. He brought his own. It fits. It's his. Let the debate live here. Does honesty cost stardom, or does it finally make it worth having? If Elliot's second audition moved you, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment Elliot so our next episode finds you first. If these 8 auditions lit a fuse, don't let it burn out when the credits roll. Every brave choice you saw tonight, that split second when someone refused to shrink, becomes a map for the next kid walking into a cold room with hot truth. That's the channel we're building here. Not gossip, but gravity. Not sanitized PR, but pulse. If that's your vibe, make it official. Hit subscribe and tap the bell because the stories we're chasing move fast, and the first people in the room shape the conversation. Our next drops are already loading. Untold tapes, shelved screen tests, love stories that survived studio notes, and the myths Hollywood keeps trying to sell you with a smile. You won't just watch, you'll weigh in.